Hi, Leo. So, Leo, based on the success card, I'll show it to you again. It's such a beautiful card. It just pops with so much energy. We have the Six of Water. The Six of Water energy here does speak to sweetness. It does speak to children as well. It speaks to people from the past returning. I always hesitate to say that because people start to get on guard, like, oh no, who's going back? Or, don't worry about that. But it does feel like there may be some successful conclusion to someone from the past return. This is what you're meant to do and start doing, is open your heart to older patterns. As I mentioned very early in this reading, I mentioned it specifically for single folks, but also for people who are coupled, successfully ending older patterns. This is what you're meant to do. You're meant to look at past patterns, past relationships, possibly, maybe not in the physical, people coming back in the physical, but their energy returning for you to look at and begin to open your heart, possibly older patterns in love, and be kinder about them. This is what you're meant to do or start doing. And if you are coupled, it may not necessarily be about patterns even, but it's about a more of a sweetness as opposed to the full out passion, rip your clothes off kind of energy. It's more about the sweet, nurturing, kind energy, a gentleness is what you're meant to do and start doing. Now, what you're meant to not do or stop doing is we have the Transformations card in the reverse. So here it is in the upright. And here we have it in the reverse. So you need to let things end that need to end. The Transformations card in the reverse is what you're meant to not do or stop doing. Well, first of all, I'm going to say it this way. It could be that you may be trying to end something prematurely that still has the ability to be saved. Let's say we have this idea of things returning, right? Maybe in the past, you tried to end something with someone prematurely, and here they come back around again, and you're meant to kind of give it a second chance. Not so much give them a second chance, but give yourself a second chance to open your heart and be more loving and gentle and kind to yourself. Sometimes we have to let things come back in so we can feel that sense of closure. So it may have been that what you're meant to not do is end something prematurely. And it could also be, with this card in reverse, that what you're meant to not do is stop something from ending. It's like you're hanging on to something too long, and you just need to let it go on its natural way here. So you're going to have to feel it. This is a general reading for potentially thousands of people. So identify it within your own life. Did you try to get rid of something too quickly? And maybe it's coming back in now. You're meant to invite it in, to allow it in, to be sweet and kind, and see what happens. Because what you can look forward to regardless is the moon energy in reverse. Secrets being revealed. New information coming to light here. It's sometimes, this is why it feels to me like maybe there is something that a door was closed possibly too soon before you had all the information. This is what you can look forward to regardless. And it does look like with these things being revealed, whether you're single or coupled, you may hear of something, if you're single, that maybe someone from the past comes in or a pattern comes in and you realize why it came in. Maybe you have a recollection about something, or maybe someone from the past their energy does return to you, and you hear maybe, they had a crush on you the whole time. And you're like, wow, I thought that door was closed. And here it is, and you have a second chance kind of thing. It's success. Things are working out. So you have to kind of have a mindset, like no matter what occurs, I'm going to be successful. I'm going to come out on top here, if that's the way you want to look at it. And we have the 10 of water. Beautiful, beautiful energy. So lovely energy for you here, Leo. Remember, what you're meant to do or start doing is open your heart to the past. Open your heart to more of a nostalgic, sweeter kind of energy. Again, it could be an individual coming back in. It could be representative of a pattern of where you used to be, maybe more open-hearted before you got jaded in love. And then we have this. Again, I've read it two different ways. It could be that what you're meant to not do is close the door too early on something, prematurely, or it can show up also when you don't let something end that's really meant to end. And regardless, something is being revealed here that is to your benefit, that will help you. Again, it could be that someone had feelings for you all along. We just don't know. We'll find out together, shall we? in the month of December. What's under the deck for you? Unlikely. Well, first, that'll be a message for some of you, because if indeed it was that, you're hanging on to something in the hopes that it would come about, you didn't let it end. You kept thinking, it's going to finally change. He or she is going to finally change, or we're finally going to get on the same page. And you're hanging on. For those of you who this applies to, it's unlikely that the two of you would get back together or stay together, or the situation would change. Again, it's a general reading. So use your own powerful deep knowing and intuitive abilities to understand where this plays out in your own life, as well as your powerful intelligence, emotional intelligence. What you're meant to do is definitely allow more reciprocity. Open your heart. You don't have to be the one in control. It's an illusion anyway. Open your heart and allow people to give to you. Allow information to come in, to hold it, to hear it, and to speak when it's appropriate to do so. You don't want to trample over anyone. You don't want to try to, again, there's a gentle, sweeter kind of energy here with the Six of Water as a kind of more general. Remember, you're going to be successful. You have this powerful support here. You have the Ten of Water, all this wonderful energy. And the Six of Pentacles is what you're meant to do and continue doing and keep doing is keep allowing more of that flow, so that not only one person is holding the seeming power in the bedroom. Give as well as receive here. And then what you're meant to not do or stop doing is we have the Chariot card in reverse. So first of all, if you are traveling a lot and going around from town to town and have lovers in each town, you might want to stop that for the month of December at least. It's not in your best interest during this time period. And for those of you who are not doing that, this is a more general meaning for this card for you, Leo. Where you are feeling a sense of, for me, it's coming in as control for some reason. So the Chariot card is in reverse is very much kind of you're out of control. It's just you're out of your emotional depth. You don't know what you're doing, and you're meant to stop doing this. So if you're feeling that you're losing control, it's because you never had it in the first place. It's an illusion. Remember, you're meant to create more reciprocity. It doesn't mean that you are weak or that you are going to necessarily be hurt. It's that you are allowing the full force of the universe to come in and support you and help you. Because whenever we are trying to control everything ourselves, it's extremely limited in terms of what the power of the universal oneness can provide and help with. So it's very limiting. So this is what you're meant to not do or stop doing in terms of your physical intimacy. And if you're feeling just like you're swept out, you're just like swept away with everything, you're not able to control it, it's a big indication to you to stop trying to control it. And what you can look forward to regardless here is we have something in love, in the bedroom, that could be very long lasting. That's trying to be built upon a more stable ground. It goes with a Success card. It goes with the Ten of Water, secrets being revealed, everything coming up. So regardless of what happens, whether you are ending something finally or you are allowing something to come back in that maybe was ended prematurely, it's helping you to build upon a firmer foundation, more honesty, right? When the Moon card is in the reverse, things are coming up. Veils are dropping. You can see things clearly. And with that, you can create something that's more stable, has a stronger foundation, has potential to be really long lasting. So it's really, really beautiful. And especially in terms of love, in the terms of your physical intimacy, Leo, don't try to control everything and act one way. Or bail too soon out of fear of intimacy as best you can. Of course, these things are very primal, and our emotions can be very wild. And the Chariot in reverse is a very wild, out of control kind of energy, and you're meant to not do that or stop doing that. And if it's someone who's you're with, who's displaying those characteristics, you're meant to stop engaging with that person in that way. It may feel There may be a draw because it might feel kind of wild and passionate, but really it's just crazy. So be aware of that, Leo, as you move forward in the month of December. Very interesting reading. Again, I cannot stress enough. It looks like a beautiful month. Everything coming out in your favor for the most part, not without your work as well. Of course, we're always co-creating with others in the universe, but in general, if you can open your heart, allow things to come back in with a beautiful sense of open-heartedness, it will certainly help, being more reciprocal. 2 6s indicating success, being in the spotlight. Lovely energy. Okay, I'm going to close out your reading, Leo. I wish you much love. I hope it's a wonderful month for you. Happy holidays and Happy New Year to everyone.